everybody, this video is about our recent trip to RSPB Frampton Marsh near Boston in Lincolnshire. We've been meaning to go for a few years now, but we're always a little bit nervous about going anywhere new because I use a Motability scooter and we're always just a little bit afraid of what it's going to be like there. But I have to say that this really merits a gold star for disability. I'm going to leave the commentary for a moment because I just want you to experience the noise that we met in the 360-degree hide. Let you experience it. I'll say a little bit more about it afterwards.
Started putting more on Facebook.
No, we were allegedly, weren't we? Yeah. We go Adam's breakfast.
I'll be back on that.
Well, that's what these birds told us.
It's you're not going to tell me for.
Yeah, and the beauty of it was as well.
There's a round down the side of the street.
We were nice. And then when you went up mountain, you actually needed a bit of the police on. We were going to all the reports warehouse at that time, and we came towards Circus.
As you approach the 360 hide, you go through a deep cutout to prevent the birds seeing you moving, and also a beautiful little forest of teasels as well. But as we approached the hide, we could hear the noise coming from the hide from quite a way off, and the door was shut. So you can imagine just what it's like if that noise is there going out through the open viewing windows. I know everyone goes to these reserves for different reasons, but two things strike me. One, it's not good for the birds, and it's not good for the people who are watching the birds. I believe that it drives the wildlife further away from the hides because these hides act as amplifiers, sending the sound out through the front of them. And also for people like us who just enjoy the peace and quiet of the countryside and being there watching the birds and wildlife, it spoils our day. So I wish people would just be a bit more considerate. I don't mean not talking, but just talking quietly. Anyway, moan's over. It was a lovely day at Frampton Marsh. We saw lots of different birds. There were some real crackers on show. Unfortunately, some of them were a little bit far away from the hides, and I suspect that was mainly because of the noise that we were hearing. But it is a lovely sight. There are lots of wildflowers all around. As you can see from this picture here, you're not that far from Boston. That's Boston Stump, the main church in Boston. We saw some lovely birds. Here's a great crested grebe chick. It was literally yards away from us from a different hide where there was less noise there. All of the hides are reachable by anybody on a wheelchair or a Motability scooter, and that made it a real joy. Some of these videos, there are fuller versions of them on our channel that you can watch. This is just to give you a sort of taster of the whole day we had. There are lots of wildflowers all around, and this beautiful chicory flower, just sheer beauty of its colour. And there are lots of sunflowers planted and wildflower patches for insects. So I should imagine that there is something to see here at all times of the year. We're always interested in the insects and other creatures that we see at these reserves, but today obviously wasn't a great day. It was a very grey day. It wasn't a cold day, but you could certainly feel there was an autumnal feeling in the air. and I'm sure other times of the year the insect life is much more abundant. All the birds looked grey. It did brighten up later on, but unfortunately just as we were going in the evening. But we saw some real cracking birds like this spoonbill here, and there was a great white egret that was showing itself quite well, and various other birds. And one of the lovely things about Frampton Marsh is, and you can see it at the end of the video, is the way they display the sightings, and they show you on a map where they've been seen. And if you follow them on Twitter, you can see that each and every day. So it's very easy to know where you're going. The only bit that wasn't accessible to us, and that's of no fault of the reserve at all, was the actual sea wall. There's nothing that's been designed to allow wheelchairs or mobility scooters to go up those yet. But perhaps one day someone will think about how you can do it. We found this particular hide, I think it's the east hide, quite quiet, and there was plenty close up to the hide here and along the view, like this spoonbill here, which when it took off, took the rest of the birds with it. And this pintail. There were several pintails about this day, but certainly we shall be back there again at some point. We've obviously left it a bit late this year for the butterflies and things like that, but we will make an effort next year to get there several times during the year, I'm sure, as well as over the winter. We did see some interesting insects as it happened today, although it wasn't the best day. One of the things that did make us laugh was this new wader that we discovered on one of the scrapes. We called it the black-tailed belted Galloway. Not something to be under as it flies over. This is an example of one of the wild flower strips. And there are lots of teasels at Frampton Marsh, which are absolute magnets for the insects and the invertebrates of the area. And this interesting long-winged conehead, which we saw. Anyway, I'll leave you to watch the rest of the video. I know it's a bit longer than usual, but there was a lot to see that day, and just to give you a flavour of it. So thank you very much for watching. Bye for now, and we'll see you again soon.